Oh, he has been personally inspected by Sister Anna from St. John Thomas's Hospital, where she has a 90% record of complete recovery.
The Benny Hill Show became a cultural phenomenon from the mid-20th century to the early 1990s with its fast-paced, slapstick humor and catchy music. Ultimately, the show was canceled due to mounting criticism and shifting social perceptions, despite its humorous impact and widespread appeal. Through the prism of the contentious scene that signaled its demise, we examine the intricate relationships between humor, public opinion, and evolving cultural standards. Come along as we explore the narrative surrounding the last few days of the renowned series and Benny Hill's enduring legacy. The abrupt cancellation of The Benny Hill Show stunned fans. Many worldwide viewers were shocked to learn that The Benny Hill Show was about to be canceled. After its debut in 1955, the program gained popularity fast, peaking in the late 1970s with over 21 million people. Its distinctive style, which combined musical sketches, visual gags, and slapstick humor, made it a mainstay of British television. But by the late 1980s, the show's viewership had drastically declined. By 1989, it had reached roughly 9.5 million. This downturn was indicative of more significant cultural shifts and divergent comedic preferences. Financial constraints and a reevaluation of the show's comic content finally played a role in the decision to stop it, despite the program's once glorious reputation. Hill's admission that he got tired of writing new stuff gave the choice even more support. Therefore, the show's cancellation was more than just a schedule change. It marked the end of an era for millions of devoted viewers who had grown to love the creator of the beloved chase scenes. The ascent of Benny Hill via physical comedy and humor. A broad audience connected with Benny Hill's fast-paced, unique humor, and physical comedy propelled his rise in the comedy industry. His distinctive technique frequently depended on fast editing and visual humor to turn seemingly straightforward jokes into hilarious routines with audiences laughing nonstop. Hill became well known for his slapstick comic pieces, sometimes backed by upbeat music. In addition to showcasing his comedic timing, this rapid-fire format allowed him to discuss various subjects, including social commentary and love stories. Fans found it simple to relate to Hill's fanciful antics since the humor was approachable and frequently appealing to a wide range of people. His irreverent approach to comedy, which set it apart from the more conventional genres of the day, helped him establish himself on television. As viewers anxiously anticipated each new episode, joining in on the joy and laughter that characterized his groundbreaking show, Benny Hill became a household figure and received praise worldwide. Benny Hill's early influences and family history. On January 21, 1924, Benny Hill was born in Southampton, England, into a working-class family as Alfred Hawthorne Hill. His complex background greatly influenced his profession, as did his upbringing. Hill hails from a humorous family. His mother especially loves to amuse and frequently encouraged young Benny to perform on stage and family get-togethers. Despite his early life's adversities, humor developed into a coping strategy that helped him endure tough times and make enduring memories. His love of comedy stemmed from this intensely creative and passionate upbringing during a time when people welcomed entertainment as a way to escape the hardships of daily life. In addition, his education at the neighborhood school encouraged his creativity. It gave him performance experience at a young age, which prepared him for his subsequent pursuits in the entertainment sector. Benny's early life experiences helped to mold his comedic sensibility and strengthened his will to achieve since he wanted to make people laugh. Benny's shift from entertainment to theater. Benny Hill started his career in entertainment by working behind the scenes in regional theater shows. After leaving the military, he worked as a stagehand and playwright, immersing himself in the subtleties of performance. Whether by producing sketches or helping with production, because of this foundation, he could comprehend theater's workings, which helped him when he eventually moved into the spotlight. His participation in various theatrical productions, such as revue performances and vaudeville, gave him a great platform to hone his humorous approach. Hill's background in theater also helped him become proficient in improvisation and successfully interact with audiences. His charisma and comic ability eventually came to the fore, opening doors for him to take the stage. His early experiences working behind the scenes and later on-stage roles gave him a special set of insights that helped him succeed in his television career. His background in theater played a significant role in developing the fast-paced humor and energy that became his signature on The Benny Hill Show. World War II shaped Benny Hill's comedic career. In addition to imparting practical skills, Benny Hill's World War II military training as a mechanic greatly impacted how he developed as an entertainer. He soon discovered that comedy could be a potent technique for raising fellow soldiers' morale and used in several posts. His main form of relief during these difficult times was to perform sketches and comedy routines for the troops, emphasizing the value of laughing in the face of war's atrocities. In addition to showcasing his developing skills, these performances gave him valuable knowledge about timing, audience interaction, and situational adaptation, skills that would ultimately characterize his approach. His dedication to comedy as a career was cemented by the friendships he made with other soldiers and the joyous times they had. Hill was resolved to use his wartime experiences to forge a long-lasting career in entertainment after leaving the military, and he used those lessons to propel himself into the comedy limelight. The TV career of Benny Hill, 1962 to 1966. The early 1960s saw the start of Benny Hill's serious television career, a turning point in his ascent to public recognition. His first program, The Benny Hill Show, aired in 1962 and attracted viewers immediately with its irreverent comedy and endearing structure. In these early years, Hill developed a reputation for drawing audiences in with visual storytelling as he skillfully combined musical numbers with humorous sketches. Program's brilliant parodies and slapstick humor struck a chord with viewers, making Hill a household figure. Remarkably, the late-night comedy format made edgier content possible compared to typical television, which added to the distinct attractiveness of the show. Because of Hill's creative character design and sense of humor, every episode was a novel experience for viewers. By 1966, The Benny Hill Show had established itself as a mainstay of British television, opening the door for a worldwide viewership that would eventually recognize Hill's unique brand of humor and laying the groundwork for years of further success. The variety of Benny Hill's comedy increased his notoriety. Benny Hill's ability to portray a wide range of characters was one of the show's most notable aspects, a significant factor in his rising stardom. Every episode included sketches that allowed Hill to dress up and play various characters, from naive suitors to influential figures, all injected with his distinctive, humorous style. His versatility as a performer was demonstrated by his ability to switch between personas, which also helped him craft captivating stories that held the audience's attention. Viewers enjoyed his inventiveness and unpredictable nature, looking forward to seeing him take on new roles. Hill's gift for physical humor was further enhanced through these characterizations, allowing him to create famous slapstick moments and outrageous scenarios. His diverse cast of personas cemented his reputation as a comic genius and made him likable to the audience by fostering a sense of familiarity and fondness. Such imaginative character play significantly influenced the program's popularity and Hill's long-lasting influence on the comedy scene. The comedic and classical acting techniques of Benny Hill. Benny Hill's ability to seamlessly integrate classical acting and traditional comedy was demonstrated in his performances of A Midsummer Night's Dream and other plays. His ability to humbly reinterpret Shakespearean humor demonstrated his versatility as a performer and helped to close the divide between popular entertainment and high culture. Hill's slapstick approach and classical elements were combined in his character portrayals to create a unique experience that delighted comedy aficionados and theatergoers alike. Furthermore, he showed a comparable talent for razor-sharp comedy and sarcasm in his past work on the Benny Hill Times radio program, where he examined current events and cultural trends. This fusion of physical humor and wit was the foundation for his developing comedic style, further strengthened by astute writing and lighthearted criticism. Taken as a whole, these shows illustrated Hill's versatility as a performer. They solidified his reputation as a comedic trailblazer, winning over crowds of all stripes and leaving an enduring impression on stage and cinema. The early popularity of The Benny Hill Show. A new era in British comedy began in 1955 with the debut of The Benny Hill Show. Hill's inventive humor set the show apart from its peers from the beginning. The show's distinctive formula included a quick-witted blend of musical numbers, character-driven comedy, and sketches aimed at generating the most laughs in the shortest time. Viewers were soon drawn in by Hill's gift for slapstick humor and his ability to craft catchphrases that would linger in their minds. The playful frivolity that characterized each episode drew in audiences who enjoyed the quick quips and visual gags. This formula for success helped the show stay successful over the years, launching Hill into the spotlight and building a loyal following. The skillfully blending of many humorous components not only held viewers' attention but also set a standard for variety shows on television. The distinctive structure of Hill's show developed over time, cementing its position in viewers' hearts and influencing upcoming comics. Impact of The Benny Hill Show worldwide. Unquestionably, The Benny Hill Show had a global impact since it broke down cultural barriers and influenced many comedians worldwide. Despite its roots in the UK, Hill's distinctive fusion of physical humor, visual gags, and musical sketches struck a chord with viewers worldwide, inspiring remakes and adaptations. The program introduced aspects that many other humor programs would later imitate, and its influence helped set television comic standards. The chase scenes and catchy musical numbers, which established the show's look and came to represent Hill's particular brand of humor, were especially noteworthy. By effectively communicating with audiences across linguistic and cultural divides, Hill's humorous style demonstrated the power of laughter as a global language. Because of this worldwide appeal, Hill's reputation as an international comedy hero was further cemented through syndication and extensive screenings. His capacity to engage audiences worldwide emphasizes The Benny Hill Show's significant influence, solidifying his place in comic history. It became a worldwide hit thanks to Benny Hill's signature style. The Benny Hill Show's success as a worldwide sensation was primarily due to Benny Hill's unique comedy style, which was distinguished by endearing music and spectacular chase scenes. The now famous chase scenes, which frequently included Hill in lighthearted antics with female characters, became a defining feature of his show and perfectly captured its slapstick humor. These components, combined with wacky musical compositions that emphasized the movement, produced a visual and audio experience that appealed to viewers of all ages. The way that Hill combined dramatic pursuit scenes with astute satire added to the show's appeal and offered a humorous commentary on human nature and societal concerns. The comedy's beat and vigor coalesced into a captivating performance that let audience members forget about reality and get lost in the humor. In addition to delighting fans, this distinctive blend of humor and music redefined television comedy, impacting many shows and demonstrating Hill's ongoing influence in the industry. The low-key and simple lifestyle of Benny Hill. Benny Hill had an unexpectedly modest and uncomplicated existence for someone with his level of popularity and notoriety. After living in a small apartment for 26 years, Hill embraced a life devoid of the glitz and glamour usually associated with becoming a celebrity. He exhibited a grounded approach to life by avoiding taxis and walking great distances instead. Hill's preference for low-cost meals reflected his practicality. He frequently visited shops while watching his shopping expenses. This frugal way of living demonstrated Hill's careless attitude toward wealth and revealed a deep-seated desire to stay true to himself despite his notoriety. Hill's refusal to partake in costly purchases or conspicuous shows of wealth brought to light a distinctively modest viewpoint that the general public frequently ignores, exposing a guy who preferred modest joys over lavish financial excess. His on-screen antics and off-screen modesty contrasted to provide a more nuanced picture of an entertainer who pursued happiness and amusement without needless pretense. A modest 26 years of living for Benny Hill. Benny Hill lived in a small apartment for 26 years, which was fitting for his modest demeanor and way of life. Unlike many celebrities who show off wealth, Hill lived a practical life and shunned extravagance. He developed a reputation for going on lengthy walks rather than using taxis, demonstrating his preference for an active lifestyle while staying out of the spotlight. He could interact with the environment by walking, which added to his least glamorous but incredibly approachable character. Hill also decided to buy cheap food from supermarkets, exhibiting a dedication to responsible spending practices. His decisions contrast the ostentatious lives frequently linked to celebrity, portraying a guy who puts his satisfaction ahead of social expectations. In addition to winning him over to his admirers, this modesty revealed a man who, despite his wealth and comedic talent, loved the banal parts of life. Benny Hill's realistic view on life. Benny Hill's pragmatic outlook on life was apparent in his financial choices and way of living. By opting to rent rather than purchase real estate, Hill demonstrated an astute grasp of economics and embodied the thrifty spirit ingrained in his family. By making this choice, he could live comfortably and enjoy other perks without dealing with ownership and related expenses. He also distinguished himself from many era superstars by abstaining from lavish indulgence. Because Hill valued quality of life over material belongings, he could live a genuine life and connect with his audience. This frugal use of money reflected his principles and a broader conviction that life experiences should precede ostentatious exhibitions. Hill's sensible financial and lifestyle selections reveal more about his character and fundamentally paint him as an entertainer who tried to spread happiness and laughter while staying true to his morals and resisting social pressures. The personal life and multilingual capabilities of Benny Hill. Benny Hill was well known for living a very private existence and keeping details of his personal life a secret. Even while the public was enthralled with his humorous image, Hill frequently shied away from talking about love relationships or other private concerns, creating a mystery that led to rumors about his sexual orientation. His unwillingness to divulge details about his personal life helped him to remain somewhat anonymous in the face of his notoriety by putting his work above the eyes of the general public. Hill's remarkable linguistic abilities, which included fluency in French and a working knowledge of several other languages, brought still another dimension to his character. This ability not only revealed his curiosity as an intellectual, but also made it possible for him to interact with audiences and followers around the world. His love of French culture was more evidence of his acceptance of variety and increased his popularity as an entertainer outside of Britain. Hill's ability to speak multiple languages and his dedication to living life on his terms allowed him to connect with his audience on a deeper level that cut over linguistic and cultural divides. Benny Hill's closely guarded private life raised conjecture. Benny Hill shied away from public conversations about love relationships, contributing to his personal life's mystery. This reserve may have been motivated by a need to keep his personal and professional lives apart, but it also gave rise to a great deal of conjecture on his sexual orientation. Many fans and analysts attempted to understand his unguarded humor and character representations through this viewpoint. His comic style was often misconstrued by critics, which resulted in erroneous beliefs about his personal life. Curiosity was piqued by Hill's unwillingness to comment on these rumors, which helped him to keep a veil of mystery surrounding his life outside of comedy. Ultimately, his mysterious public character added to his allure since audiences were drawn to the conflict between the boisterous, hilarious genius they loved and the private individual who wished to keep his private life private. Hill's reputation as a fascinating figure in comedy was further enhanced by the rumors surrounding him. Benny Hill's passion for French language and culture. A key component of Benny Hill's character, his love of French culture, shaped his way of life and his humorous pursuits. His ability to communicate well in French enabled him to fully immerse himself in the culture, fortifying his bonds with French viewers and elevating his international performances. Hill's appreciation of the arts, especially French literature and film, shaped his humorous sensibilities and produced a rich tapestry of humor that frequently drew from his cultural pursuits. Not only did Hill know the basics of several other languages, but he also spoke French, demonstrating his love of communication and cross-cultural interaction. His ability to speak multiple languages allowed him to engage with a wide range of listeners and use humor to transcend geographic borders. His passion for French culture further enhanced his contributions to comedy and entertainment by giving his character more depth and demonstrating his awareness of the subtleties of human behavior and artistic expression. The Benny Hill Show was canceled because of a drop in audience. Several factors combined caused the Benny Hill Show to be canceled in 1991, mainly a sharp drop in viewership. The program had over 21 million viewers at its height, but by the late 1980s, numbers had sharply declined to about 9.5 million. The program's financial sustainability was becoming increasingly precarious. Thus, this decline was very concerning. Although production costs remained high, the show's network and producers were forced to bear the financial burden of justifying these costs in light of the show's declining viewership. Besides the decreased quantity, Hill acknowledged that he was tired of creating new material, which influenced his choice. Network officials reevaluated the show's viability after realizing it was becoming less creative and entertaining. In the end, as viewers struggled to adjust to shifting entertainment preferences, the convergence of diminishing ratings, financial pressures, and worries about Hill's performance and enthusiasm resulted in the tough decision to stop one of television's most cherished comedy shows. Benny Hill's worn-out performance and growing expenses caused the cancellation. The Benny Hill Show's demise was mostly due to financial difficulties, especially while viewership dropped. The expenses of producing the show became more difficult to defend as fewer people turned in. The network faced increasing costs for developing new programming, recruiting talent, and preserving production quality, yet these costs were unsustainable due to the declining viewership. This dilemma made the showrunners reconsider the program's future in light of its mounting financial weight, raising concerns about whether it was still possible to produce a show that was becoming less appealing. And Benny Hill admitted to being tired, which meant that his excitement and vitality were not what they used to be. The overall caliber of the event declined due to the performer's inability to give his finest performance and financial difficulties. Customers quickly picked up on this decline in inventiveness, which only heightened audience apathy and reinforced the difficult choice to end the show. Demonstrate opposition to the objectification of women. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, The Benny Hill Show aired, drawing criticism for its objectifying depiction of women. The humor of the show frequently came from the portrayal of female characters as little more than objects of desire, often reduced to cliches and sketches with sexually provocative and physically humorous material. Critics turned their attention to this strategy, claiming that these depictions were damaging and backward, especially as conversations about respect for women and gender equality gained traction. Concern over the show's impact on viewers, particularly younger ones, grew as many saw its humorous approach as supporting harmful social views toward women. A broader discussion on comedians and performers' duties to thoughtfully represent gender and sexuality in their work was spurred by this criticism. This growing criticism ran counter to the show's continued appeal to some segments of the population, creating a conflict that ultimately led to the program's downfall and cancellation in the face of shifting public opinion. Ben Elton criticized Benny Hill's comedy. Comedy star Ben Elton became a prominent critic of Benny Hill's show, substance, and its effect on public perceptions, which helped the criticisms of the show gather momentum. Elton, renowned for his astute observation and progressive viewpoints on humor, called attention to the problematic aspects of Hill's humor, especially about how women are portrayed on the show. He maintained that the objectification found in many sketches was part of an outmoded and damaging societal narrative. This criticism spurred a nationwide conversation about comedians' roles in forming attitudes and conventions, prompting performers and viewers to reconsider humor's messages. As Elton's voice reverberated, it sparked a wave of conversations about how humor is changing and pushed for more inclusive and polite representations in the comedy world. These disagreements brought The Benny Hill Show under further attention, which affected the show's reputation in the television industry, by highlighting the growing gap between traditional comic techniques and the developing knowledge of gender dynamics. The legacy and comic impact of Benny Hill. Benny Hill left a lasting impact on comedy, solidifying his position as a significant player who influenced British humor. Through The Benny Hill Show, Hill popularized avant-garde ideas, including physical comedy and quick skits, which had a lasting impact on television programming worldwide. His distinct fusion of slapstick humor and astute social insights affected a generation of comedians, inspiring many to use similar components in their performances. Hill's pursuit scenes and visual gags became standard fare in the comedy genre, providing a model that would influence performers and productions in other nations. Even though Hill faced criticism in later life, his contributions to comedy are indisputable since many modern comedians freely acknowledge him as a significant inspiration. When this groundbreaking method was eventually reassessed in light of shifting social perspectives, highlighting his importance in opening the door to a broader range of comic emotions. Thanks to his ability to make people laugh regardless of their ethnic background, Hill's legacy will live on in the annals of comic history. The tragic fate and sudden death of Benny Hill. The unexpected passing of comedy icon Benny Hill on April 20, 1992 was a sad event in the entertainment industry that ended a legendary life. Discovered in his humble Teddington apartment, Hill's demise surprised both fans and other performers. He was working on fresh material at the time of his passing, suggesting that his love of comedy endured even after his show was canceled. But there was a tragic turn of events that led to his death. He passed away by himself, highlighting his love of solitude and his inclination for privacy. After this unanticipated loss, many people felt a deep hole in the comedy world. Although Hill's career was filled with decades of happiness and fun, the circumstances surrounding his death made many wonder what legacy he would leave behind and how it would be remembered. In addition to grieving for Hill's passing, many admirers lamented the abrupt quiet in a humorous universe that had previously been bursting with his unique vitality. The comedy legacy of Benny Hill is celebrated across the globe. Benny Hill's legacy and impact within the comedy community have endured in the years since his passing. As comedians and fans alike consider the delight his work provided to millions, there's been a growing appreciation over time for his revolutionary contribution to the genre. Scholarly debates have focused on Hill's distinct humorous style, with many noting his comedy's societal ramifications and intricacies. Numerous commemorations, get-togethers, and retrospectives have honored Hill's legacy and highlighted his gift and originality. Documentaries, memorial events, and screenings of his most excellent sketches are among the initiatives to pay tribute to his legacy and introduce future generations to his unmatched comedy. Benny Hill's standing in comedy endures despite societal changes, demonstrating the ability of laughter to cut beyond the boundaries of time and place. His incredible rise from a little-known comedian to a key figure in television history proves comedy's ability to forge bonds long after the last frame is drawn. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon